Hi, in this video we're going to make an introduction to algebra. Now you may have seen some of the contents before, but we are going to refresh our memory and then add up onto it. And I have to warn you, algebra is huge, so sometimes you may feel like you're not very good at it. But don't worry, practice makes perfect. So if you solve enough questions, then you'll be able to understand and do algebra properly. And another warning is you have to be really careful, especially with the signs and everything, because you're going to do a question and then you will find that it is wrong just because you just put a minus sign instead of a plus, or vice versa, and although all the work is correct, your answer will be wrong. So sometimes you may feel like this. However, don't forget that without maths we wouldn't have all the technology that we're using right now. So yes, you in particular may not use algebra in your future life, but still it's going to help your brain to develop so that you will have a better understanding of your life and your problems, and you'll have better ability to solve your problems. So no, algebra is not going to be in direct use of your life in your life. However, indirectly it will positively influence your life. Right, so we generally use x and y to denote numbers that we don't know, which we call them as unknowns. Now, with the unknowns, we always have to keep in mind that these are numbers, but we don't know them. So you will see questions like solve. So this means find the value of the unknown, right? And we will also have expand or expand and simplify sort of questions. And then there will also be factorizing questions, so it will say factorize. So these ask for working on the given expression. So this is also important. You have to know the difference between an expression and an equation. Now, when it comes to an expression, you go something like x minus 7, right? X is a number that we don't know, and it's x minus 7, so it's 7 less than x, so 7 less than a number. Whereas, if I write x minus 7 equals 4, then I can find out what x is, which is 11, right? If you think of x being 11, 11 minus 7 gives you 4. So x cannot be anything else, but it is 11. Still, at the moment, before all this work, right, you don't know what x is, so it is still an unknown. But here in an equation, you can solve for x, and you can find x to be 11, right? Now, just keep in mind that we call these as dummy variables, dummy unknowns, these letters, because we can use any letter we'd like, right? It's not supposed to be x's and y's only. It could be anything. And you will see that some certain contents in algebra uses some specific letters initially, but generally speaking, you can use any letter you'd like when you're expressing yourself in algebra. All right? Now, let's look at these expressions. Now, we have x plus 4. This means 4 more, it means addition, right? For more than a number that we don't know. That's why we call it a letter. In this case, it's x, right? So x plus 4 could be expressed as 4 more than a number. Whereas for y minus 6, you can say 6, right, less than a number. All right, so there's this number that you don't know, and we're talking about 6 less than a number because there's subtraction here, so it means less. Now here, right, this is 2n. This is 2 times a number. Now notice that we are not writing 2 times n. The reason is that the times symbol looks like the letter x, right? So we might consider this as 2xn, so as if there are 2 different unknowns, which is not the case, right? So we do not consider writing the times symbol. And again, don't feel awkward about this situation as we write 2n, meaning 2 times a number. And still in here, we will write down this as 3a plus 1, right? So it is 3 times a number, right? This is how I express 3a. Now, I have to say, right, I have to take this side because I have to write one more, right, than. So this must be in the front of 3 times a number because it's going to be a proper English. So it's 1 more than 3 times a number, right? It's 3a plus 1. This is what we mean. We multiply the number we don't know by 3 and then we add 1. So this is how we consider these expressions. This is how we translate them, right? This is important. So the bottom line is we have expressions like these, like 3x minus 1, 4x plus 7 over 5, x plus 11, and then we have equations like x minus 7 is 11, or we have x squared minus x plus 4 equals 0. This is a quadratic equation, that's how we call it, and you will be finding 2 x values. Or you will have 4x cubed minus 7x squared plus x minus 11 equals 0, right? There will be many equations of that sort, of which you're going to learn how to solve them until year 11. So this is a huge concept, algebra, that is, right? And we are going to start learning algebra and doing algebra, right? So in the meantime, let's look at the online self-check and try to choose the best answer for those conversions of expressions written in words or the words given in algebraic expressions. Thank you.